Atlanta, and so, at last, the chapter comes to a close. Not with a flood, not with fireworks, not with the tear-streaked camera shot that so many producers may have longed for. But with quiet, with dignity, with a swing, the relentless narrative, that Freddie Freeman must cry, must break, must dissolve into some sentimental pool beneath the lights of Truist Park, has finally run its course. And Freddie stayed true to himself. From the first camera cut, the signals were clear. The broadcast wanted a moment. Something heavy. Something headline-worthy. Fox Sports opened the evening not with analysis, not with context, but with expectation. A microphone in his face. Eyes searching his face for cracks. They asked the questions they'd been rehearsing since he returned to Atlanta in different colors. How does it feel to be back? Does this All-Star game hit different? What's going through your heart? It was storytelling, pre-written. All it needed was one teardrop to fall. But none did. Freeman, ever the professional, didn't give them what they wanted. He gave them what was real. His voice, yes, carried weight. Yes, there was a quiver at the edges of a word or two. Yes, the camera caught his eyes glinting, not with drama, but with depth. But still, no collapse. No meltdown. Just a man standing in his moment. They made sure to give his name room to echo. During pre-game introductions, where every other player was herded on and off stage like cattle through a turnstile, Freeman's moment was deliberately drawn out. The stadium responded with warmth, of course. Atlanta knows its heroes. But even in that, you could feel the grasping hand of the show trying to script an unscriptable soul. And then came the moment on the field. Freeman, now wearing a jersey not sewn in Braves red, but carrying just as much meaning, stepped into the box. One at bat. One more swing in a ballpark built on his legacy. He didn't homer. He didn't strike out. He played. That was enough. And soon after, a mid-inning defensive switch pulled him from the diamond. The crowd rose. The applause rolled. Some thought they might get what they came for. Would he tip his cap? Would he wipe his eyes? Would the dam break? But Freeman simply acknowledged the fans. Looked around. Let the sound of appreciation hit him like a warm breeze, and walked away. Back to the dugout. Back to his teammates. Back to the role he's always cherished, a ballplayer. Not an actor. Not a symbol of public catharsis. Just Freddie. When he spoke post-game, his voice carried that subtle tremble again. Not performative. Not for show. But honest. He spoke with gratitude. For the moment. For the fans. For the city. For the game. He said enough, and no more. There are those who will say this was a missed opportunity. That the narrative arc deserved a splash-page finale. That the cameras deserved tears. That viewers deserved something cinematic. But the truth is, the emotion was there. Just not in the way some wanted. It was in the crowd. In the soft waves of applause. In the subtle cheers from fans who once booed his departure but now understood the fullness of his journey. It was in his wife's eyes in the stands. It was in every Braves fan who stood, conflicted, grateful, and proud. It was in his swing. In his stance. In his decision to show up and play, not to perform. Because Freddie Freeman has cried before. He cried when he left Atlanta. He cried when he returned for the first time. He cried when the moments overwhelmed him, authentically, unscripted. And that's why this night was different. He didn't need to cry this time. He needed to be present. To absorb it. To survive it. And to prove, not for anyone else, but for himself, that he could face it all and walk off the field on his own terms. There was no speech. No farewell. No choreographed bow. Just a man standing tall under the lights. Letting the cheers wrap around him like a thank you note. Letting the cameras look, but not control. And now it's over. The arc that began with heartbreak has curved back into calm. Freddie Freeman is no longer the player who left. He is no longer the prodigal son. He is no longer the emotional headline waiting to happen. He is what he has always been. A steady bat. A sure glove. A quiet heart. And as the All-Star game moves on, as the stadium lights dim and the fans go home, we remember not the tear that never fell, but the man who never faked it. That, in this age of spectacle, may be the most all-star thing of all.